How you doing, everybody? Hope yous are all keeping well. Another cracking episode today. I've got James Price on, local writer and filmmaker, and BAFTA nominated as well, I may add. Cannot say that enough. Talking all things about the film industry and working with various people in Glasgow and beyond. Special mention to Michael Imperioli in here. Listen to it for this story alone if you've got to do anything. As always, let me know what you think feedback wise and give the subscribe a wee press. Big thanks as always to Let Me Repair and Paul Bain. Massive support coming from them. Check out their website if you're looking for any repairs to get done. And Dean Fleming Mortgage Brokers as well. Dean's an independent mortgage broker based in Glasgow. Get access to over 90 UK lenders, helping people of Glasgow move into their dream properties. Cheers, guys. James, glad to have you here. Now, I listened to you on a podcast the other day and I need to know if it's James or Jamie before we even start.
It's James, man. It's James. It is James. It's both. It's either James, right, Jamie or Pricey. They're my three names.
We'll go with James, right? We'll go with James. We'll change it to Pricey halfway through.
Do you know, I used to write Jamie on like scripts and all that, and then as soon as I changed it to James, I just got luckier, so I've just stuck with it.
Right, we'll go with James then.
Sounds
I don't want to
beneficial.
jinx it. Then you'll be coming back to me saying, why did you say that on the,
no, it's a bad luck now.
the podcast? the reason I wanted you on, you'll appreciate as well, coming from Glasgow, there's not a lot of filmmakers
No,
that come
definitely
from Glasgow, and not a lot of writers come from Glasgow, and that got my curiosity up right away. How did you get into it? How did it start?
I was always a film geek, man. I grew up, I was just always obsessed with films, and I taught myself how to write scripts. I left school in third year, never went to college or uni. I taught myself how to write scripts, and I started sending them out in my early 20s, and I got on 2 competitions, and that was it, man. It kind of just took off. But I just totally winging it, man, and gone for it. It was a whole gamble, man. It wasn't even...
How did you get into the writing scripts yourself? How did you do that? How did you kind of self-teach yourself?
100%. I give everybody this a bit of advice, man, because I still think it's one of the best ways to do it. Is because I was obsessed with like Pulp Fiction. I loved that Jon Favreau film, Swingers. So would download the scripts of the films out after the internet, right, and then I'd watch the film while I read the script. Mm-hmm. And you learn whatever it means. Aye. Just for doing that. It's dead easy. It's like people seem to think script writing is hard, man, but it's easy, man. Writing a book's hard, but writing a script's quite skeletal. It's quite easy to do. So that was it. Just for reading scripts of films I liked, that was the main way I learned. It
seems when you look at it from the outside, it seems like one of the most complicated things that you could do for a job, because I think looking in on it, you build it up to be this big, worse than a book, like this big complicated thing with all these characters doing different things. But do you look at it completely different for that when you're thinking about kind of writing something down? I do. I mean, it is hard, man. It is annoying. Like just the facing the blank page is like a nightmare, man. But it's it's just no, it's difficult to learn as people think, man. So I would love if more people go into it, but it's a tricky. It feels pernickety, man, just because there's a whole lingo you kind of need to learn. Aye. But you pick up quite fast, man. You can pick up really fast. And obviously at school, coming out in third year, did you just no fancy it at school, or was it just kind of... I was a combination of it. I did hate school, man. Mm-hmm. I was cool in primary, and then my mum and dad sent me to school where none of my pals went to, and it just spiralled. But I ended up taking really bad Noel, man. I had fucking daft autoimmune disease, and that kind of got... So my attendance was bad anyway, but that kind of got me out of jam, and then... that was kind of one of the reasons too. I wasn't well for a long time, so I had a lot of spare time just to teach myself how to write scripts. And there was a lot of just sitting about. And the thing that kind of stuck in my mind, and I'm thinking about my own kind of childhood in Glasgow and growing up, and you're out with your pals and all that. If I'd have said to my pals I was going to be a film writer or something, they would have tore me to shreds at that age, just for where I was from. But how was it for you with like your mates and that? I must admit, man, most of them were supportive, man. Like, I've got a lot of memory. Like even back when I was like 15, 16, 17, I was always saying like I'm going to make films one day. And I didn't know how, man, but it was all him. And people were my wee gang were all brand new, man. Everybody seemed. They all seemed quite supportive, man. Everybody was quite on board with it. It wasn't too bad. Right. Like, probably internally they were like, fuck this fucking thing, what's he talking about? You know what I mean? But I must admit, man, on the surface, everybody's been lovely, man. There was a period probably when I started doing it. Aye.
And I was trying, well, people probably thought, what is this wee weirdo up to, man? He's fucking, he's out in the hills with his pals with fucking 2 iPhones trying to make a film. Probably thought I was off my nut, but...
was your family not the same? Like when you said to them, this is what I want to do, was it a full-on like support all round?
Kind of, aye, definitely. My mum and dad were also, like, even when I was young, man, they were like getting me wee cameras and all that, and they heavy nuts with it, man. They really did back it. I think when it took off though, they were surprised. I mean, I don't think they expected it to work out. I think they thought it was going to be like a wee hobby, you know what I mean? And, so I think when stuff started actually happening, I think they were a bit shocked at that. I remember phoning my dad. I got nominated for a wee BAFTA New Talent Award in 2015. I remember phoning my dad and I was like, I just got a phone call saying we nominated for a BAFTA, and he was like, "Are you sure though?" He's like, "Are you sure you make double check?" Nah, I mean, he was like, didn't want to make my hopes up, but he just couldn't fathom that might happen.
That's what I love how you've just scooted by that there. Like I was nominated for a wee BAFTA, like it's got any shows and getting a medal in sports day or something. We'll come back to the BAFTA, but see, what was the kind of point for you where you started to think this could turn into something? As much as you were growing up and looking at it as something you wanted to do and playing with different things and writing scripts yourself, when did it kind of click?
I think around about 2012, 2013, like I started I was trying to I've thrown myself out there. So I come feel like that. I mean, I came from Springburn, I was kicking about Glasgow Street now, I was thinking that. So I was trying to break into this mad circle of like arty people, you know what I mean, and get in there. So it was difficult at first, but I think when I started seeing the stuff people were making, I was like, I just kind of understood, and I thought I can make something interesting. I had a kind of confidence inside that I could do it. So I think around 2013, 2014, I kind of got the guts to go for it.
Aye. And see, doing the script writing kind of and teaching yourself at a younger age, do you feel that was an advantage for you, or when you then started to kind of move in these circles, did you feel that it held you back a wee bit because you had done it yourself?
It's interesting, man. It's no, I think it's definitely advantage. I mean, because it's although there is stuff new that I still don't know. I mean, I'm still learning as I go, especially with like the directing side of things and that. But directing and writing, that's one of the jobs where the only way to really learn is to do it. Like you can go to all the classes you want, and that definitely helps all that. But it's a job you learn on the job. You'd learn doing it. As you're actually doing it.
And I suppose as well the urban myth that most people probably have about it is you must be absolutely minted if you're writing films and doing different things. So crush that rumour for me just now.
I'm sorry to say, people, man, that is not the way it is, man. It's no, I'm still bouncing on half universal credit and all that. It's not,
is it hard though in that sense of, as much as you're doing something you really want to do, you're kind of worried about getting a script accepted somewhere or getting something kind of moving?
100%. I mean, this year things have took off to the point where I'm thinking, all right, I can see this being a future now. It has been 10 years like kind of doing stuff for free and winging it and hoping for the best. But it has kind of took off now, but it's like, all right, this is like I'm actually writing stuff for people and that. So it's that's an interesting one. But if anybody thinking jump in it for money, man, don't do it. Don't do it. Do anything else, man. No.
Do you think that is a kind of rite of passage though, to go through that journey of doing stuff for free and learning your craft and getting into different areas?
100%, man, definitely. Like that's what's got me this far, definitely, man. It helps. You know what I mean? If you're willing to do that, like if you just put the time in, man, you'll learn it. Definitely. A
few people had messaged me and it was more kind of specific questions around if you are in that industry and you're trying to get a script out there or you're coming up with something. What's your thought process for coming up with a script? Where do you take your inspiration from when you're looking to get something started? As you say, like a blank page and you're just sitting there waiting.
It's interesting, man. Like a lot of the short films I've made so far, they all kind of came through like wee real moments or memories. Through like I did a short film called Boys Night, and that came through. There was a night I must have been about 10 or 11, and my mum picked me and my dad up from Uncle Mick's, and my dad been drinking my uncle, and my mum and dad got in an argument. My dad punched the windscreen and cracked it. My mum kicked him out the motor, and then I walked my dad home. And it just always stuck in my head. And I got a day off school, so it was a kind of happy memory for me. My dad had a laugh. It was a buzz. So I made a short film based on that. And a lot of the stuff always comes to like just, I mean, I'll run with it and I'll make stuff up, but it's those are we see the truth. But now I'm more getting into the point where I'm kind of, I'm just wanting to make stuff that I want to see, and then stuff that doesn't usually get made here. That's kind of what I'm excited about. I kind of want to. Like we were talking about the Sopranos before we started, man. Like that would be my dream, is to get something like that happening in Glasgow, man.
God, you'd have enough material.
That's the thing, man. We've got such a rich, organised crime history here that it's mental that nobody's done it. It's absolute insanity that nobody's done it yet.
Suppose people have got to certain blocks or individuals and be like, nah, maybe no.
No,
but you're right. You're absolutely right. There's, when you look at all the different cities and different areas and the themes that have been kind of jumped on, Glasgow's.
That's a guy. There's a lot. It's untapped.
Right for it.
100%, man. It's untapped. The first person that does it will blow up. You know what I mean? Like, we'll watch it. Everybody we know will watch it. You know what I mean? It's like, for some reason, nobody's taking a chance on it.
Interesting. I've got to ask about the short film. What did your mum not say?
Aye, that's the ice, my man. She wasn't happy.
Did they recognise right away who did you say to them?
My mom claims that it's all fictionalised, man. She claims it didn't happen like that at all. She's added in a bunch of events to that in memory, man. But my dad loved it, man. My dad passed away last year, but he loved it, man. I mean, we went to Edinburgh and saw it and all that. He was. The guy who played him had been in a few films, so he was all chuffed.
Love that. Love that. And you done something with Graham Armstrong as well?
Aye, man, that was this year. Aye, so that was it was for the book festival, man. Made a wee short film, and I done it great, man. Graham's a legend, man. He's a cool character, man. He's going to go far, man. He's taken over.
What was that one based on?
Me and Graham, I mean, we were kind of both like we've got really similar backgrounds, just in terms of like jumping about schemes and that. So it's kind of based on that, you know what I mean? And like it was him. He came up with the idea, and we put it together on that, and then I just directed it. But it was kind of just based on like memories of being in dodgy gaffs.
That's the thing as well, because like any guy growing up in Glasgow over that period of time, you've got reams of material.
100%.
You can obviously, depending on where other people see it that way, that we're in said gaffs. But
no, definitely. I know that's it. That's the only thing. But it's true. Everybody must be. Glasgow's just, and I think everybody in Glasgow's just natural storytellers, man. There's like hundreds of. I know you could stop somebody just at the pop up the corner, and they're guaranteed they've got about 5 films in them. You know what I mean? Just
100%.
Telling you stories, definitely.
And you are, when you're writing a script out, I know we touched on this just before we started filming. Are you a planner, or are you day at the end?
I'm trying to get better at this, man. I'm on a bit of a day at the end.
Have you always been though?
I think I might have been, man. I think I have been probably, but there's something about that panic where you've only got like 3 days to write something. Mm-hmm. There's something about that panic that kind of just makes you put like 110% in, because you've no choice. It has to be good, because you've left it this late. So like you have to deliver something semi-decent. Are
you always conscious of that, or do you think when you've got something you've got plenty of time, and then suddenly you're looking at like 4 or 5 days to get it all?
Do you know, it's interesting. Sometimes I'm kind of conscious of it. Honestly, I say this all the time. I think I do the majority of my writing just walking about thinking, man. Like I've got to. I'm probably people will think I'm talking to myself now, but I do like just have characters like just talking to each other in my head, and 90% of my writing is like just walking a story in my head, and then once I think I've got it, then it's just sitting down and getting it out.
I couldn't deal with that panic of.
I know it's not good. I'm trying to get better at it, man. I'm trying to get a wee regime going where it's kind of like a clock in and clock out and treat it like a real job, man. But it's not the best process. I wouldn't recommend it.
I suppose it's just some people thrive on that, but
that's the problem too. So like it seems to like it's worked out. I mean, I'm being rewarded for this mentalness. You know what I mean? So it's like
it's going well because of it.
As soon as it goes bad, I'll be like, I need to start. I need to start putting.
The thing is, you then start to get superstitious as well, and you're like,
that's my problem. That is my main problem. That is honestly the superstition is my main issue, man. That is it. So I get stuck in this routine of doing it that way.
What are the biggest challenges that face you in trying to kind of get yourself out there?
That's a good question, man. It's an interesting one. I like most of the challenges here, like the assets in a way. You know what I mean? It's like I'm coming from an angle that most people in the industry aren't coming from. You know what I mean? Just based on my upbringing and everything. So that helps at times too, but obviously sometimes it can hurt in terms of. It's an interesting one. I think the biggest challenge in Scotland is there's just no enough being made here, man. Like for anybody in this game, it's just there should be a lot more happening, man. I think it's getting better, like year by year. It's slowly getting better, but there just should be more happening here, man. That's the main thing we need.
Do you think it's funding or lack of? Or?
I definitely is, and I think people are just they're scared to change. They're scared to take a chance on things. You know what I mean? I think that's all we need is I think we just need 2 kind of fresh new dramas, and it would change the comedies as well, and it would change things here, man.
Aye.
I think if we're getting better, like Guilt and that's decent, and I like the way they're doing it, but it's got a kind of almost American Breaking Bad feel to it. But we just need more of that happening. Just need more of that.
100%, as you say, it's breaking that barrier, innit?
That's it.
Taking the fear factor away and just starting something.
100%.
A Glasgow Sopranos.
I know
this could be created right here.
I know that's it. Oh, definitely, man. I've been trying, man. I know I'm trying to get. It's a hard one. I don't know how many times I've said it, but it's got to the point where I'm like, it doesn't work. I need to kid on it something else.
See, when you get ideas like that, but do you just kind of park it, write it down, or do you start to write down scripts and things for how you think it would go? How far do you go with it when you've got an idea?
Sometimes it's like a lot of just scribbling down like possibilities of where it could go, and coming up with characters and stuff. And then if I feel like I've got something, I'll start putting it into script form and playing with it. A lot is just kind of scribbling down that looks like nonsensical gibberish, you know what I mean? And then just kind of making sense of it.
Aye. Who was your inspirations growing up from a kind of writing, filmmaking perspective?
One of the main ones, man, is like, which was 100% one of my biggest inspirations still is Peter Mullan. When I remember being a wee guy, my dad worked in a pallet factory, and everybody was like shooting themselves with nail guns now to put a claim in. And in that film they were doing that, and then my big brother was getting stabbed all the time, and the brother was getting stabbed, so it felt like a mad film. It was just made for me as a wee guy. I felt like it was, somebody's made a film about my family, you know what I mean? So Orphans, man, that was like one of the biggest, like, it was just, I think it was one of the first times I saw people in a film talking the way we talk, man. I love it, man. I still think it's one of the best definitive Glasgow films. It's one of the few that's actually made by a Glaswegian. A lot of your best Glasgow films are made by people over here. But and then Peter Mullan, and as I got older, I discovered he did like a lot of short films. Close is one of my favourites. It's a brilliant short film. He plays like, it's kind of like Glasgow Taxi Driver. It's just like him having a meltdown and killing all his neighbours, and it's amazing. And then he did Fridge, which was amazing too. So these they were kind of first short films I saw as well, where I thought, alright, that's how you make a wee film, and then you get a chance to make something bigger.
Aye. Have you ever met him?
I have, man. Do you know, absolute legend there, man. Last year, my dad passed away. Me and my dad were really close. I stayed with my dad and he passed away really suddenly at the start of lockdown. And I've got a feature film I try to get going. My producer pal Dave Brown, and he was like, "Why don't we reach out to Peter Mullan?" And I wrote this crazy, like heartfelt, like my dad had been dead for like a month or two. I've probably put my nut on diazepam or not at this point. So I wrote this crazy letter, man, and it's a nice letter, man. It was for the heart. But so the producer sends it to Peter Mullan with one of my short films, and very quickly he gets back and says, "Watched the short film, loved it." And he's like, "Oh, I want to meet him, man." And then I was like, "Don't send a letter. If he's watched the short film and agreed, don't send a letter. The letter's already been sent." So he's agreed to meet me, and then he's like, must be reading this crazy letter, like, "Oh my God, what have I done? Who is this wee fanboy psycho?" You know what I mean? But then, man, he invited me out to one of his gaffs, man, and I arrived at 12 p.m. I was sat there for an hour, just talking away lovely. You go to 1 p.m. and I was like, "Right, that's my hour." He's Peter Mullan. He's in Ozark. He's busy, man. So I took my hour. So I stood up and I was like, "Thank you so much for this, man. I really appreciate it." He was like, No, sit down. I sat with him, man, for like 5 o'clock. Then he walked me for the south side of Glasgow into the town, like bold as brass, no nothing, like just, man, just such a cool. It was like, now they say don't make your heroes, man, but he literally like exceeded all expectations. Just such a.
That's a pure surreal moment.
It was, man. I know, honestly, it's weird. Like I'm a wee bit hippy dippy, man. But honestly, since my dad died, man, it feels like I've had all these mad like. I feel like he's looking out for me, man. It's weird. I had a lot of weird surreal moments, but it was strange. Thinking back, I'm like, that's mental. Like just walking with the bold Peter Mullan.
The thing is as well, like Peter Mullan saying to you, "I like your stuff."
It was unbelievable. I know I've got the email, man. I know I want to ask him. I want to ask him if I can put it on the poster. No, I mean, what was it he said? He he described it as a stunning film, and I'm like, I'm going to put that right on the poster, man.
Mate, I'd have that on everything.
Peter Mullan. 100%, I know. On my Tinder bio. I know.
Oh man, that is unreal.
It was a beautiful moment, man. I've got a wee thing coming up with, man. It's a wee short thing that I'm actually working with him on. That I'm terrified, man. I feel like that's going to be the moment where I got to be like, nah, you go back to Springburn Shopping Centre, man.
Do you actually? Are you feeling alright about it?
I'm terrified, man. I'm scared. It's mainly just because it's him, man. It's like I've worked with a lot of people who are like, they're quite made established to me, man. But it's like, just because I'm such a fan of his, it's quite scary.
Did you, as much as you obviously sat and spoke to him that day, did you learn a lot from watching him in action?
100%, definitely. And then even one of the biggest things that gave me a lot of confidence was the Orphans DVD commentary. Because he does a comedy, it's brilliant, man. It's one of the best comedies. I highly recommend it. But there was one bit, and he's like, I don't know, you've got a clue about lenses, man. It's like, I say, use the big lens and the wee lens. And then that made me feel like, I don't need to have a clue about lenses. I can do this. I mean, like, I still don't have a clue about lenses. I know about three.
Suppose you get a superstar saying that to you, you're like, I feel alright now.
That's it. I definitely know it did. It helps, man. 100%.
I think I know what the answer to one of these will be, but what's the kind of biggest highs and the lows been?
It's an interesting one. One of the biggest highs was just being at the Edinburgh. I had to be shot at Boys' Night, the one that film I was telling you about. I played at the Edinburgh National Film Festival in 2019. And then me and my dad going through and watching it on the big screen, man. And he was just heavy chuffed, and that was just a heavy, nice moment, man. It was just beautiful. But there's been a few, man. Like, it was madness. I took my mom to the BAFTAs. That was surreal.
That is wild.
It was weird, man. Dead strange. There's been high moments, but then you're like, I mean, you're back in Springburn there for it, so it doesn't feel real. It feels like you dreamt it. No, it doesn't.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, see, when you're at one of these ceremonies, as much as obviously you've earned the right to be there and you've been recognised for that, but do you just feel like you're in a different, you're watching a film or something and you're in it? 100%,
I dissociate, man. I'm like fucking up here, but in the back of my head, man. It's weird, though. It's strange. It doesn't feel real at all. I showed up to the BAFTAs today. I wore a grey suit. I wanted to look like De Niro in Heat, so I bought this grey suit, and everybody just wearing fucking tuxedos, black. I mean, I just stood out this wee grey. Doesn't fit me that well for Slater's suit. And I just wake up thinking about that sometimes, man, and like just how heavy stood out like an idiot. But man, it's weird. It is strange, man. That is strange. It's like there's so many surreal moments. It's strange, man. It's like
and what about the kind of the lower points here? Because for every high point, you obviously get points where you're like, fucking, this is causing me nightmares. And I think for people who maybe want to do this for a job, they probably need to see that more, because that's the side that you probably see the most of. The BAFTA things are brilliant, but
no, 100%. Oh, man, there's, especially in the beginning, like, there's a lot of getting rejected, getting dinged, and like, especially if you know, like, if you don't come from like a really privileged background, you know what I mean, it's like, it is harder to stick it, you know what I mean, because like life does get in the, life comes first, you know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of low points, just kind of like, I mean, just like try to convince yourself, like, just keep going, it won't work out, you know what I mean? It's like, this is just a bad 6 months, so things will get better, people will start answering your emails again. So that's the main thing, just staying with it, man, just to go on for it. And
do you still feel like that sometimes? You're in a better space with it?
No, 100%, I still feel like that. I mean, like, I feel like I'm quite successful in terms of, like, I've got a good wee name for myself as a short film guy, you know what I mean? But it's like, nothing in my life's really changed, you know what I mean? I'm still staying in Bog Hill Road. I'm still fucking, I'm still just living life like the way I've always lived it, you know what I mean? So it's hard. So when it's no, I don't know, man. I'm waiting to get invited to all the crazy, like, Illuminati parties and all that, you know what I mean? That's when I'll feel happy. That's when I'll feel more.
It's on the, I've spoken to a few people about this. I see the kind of the rejection side of it. Does that ever get any easier, or do you just kind of park it and it's like, it's just not meant for me?
I think it gets, your skin does get thicker. It does get thicker. You do feel a bit better.
Horrific at the start, but
horrible, man. Oh, you end up raging, man. Like wishing death on people and all that, man. Just sitting there, yourself, giving, writing out emails and then like deleting it. I don't want to say that, but it does get better, but it's hard, and then that's the main thing. Is the main bit of advice I give anybody: just don't get in any creative thing. Don't get discouraged, man, because it's always just a couple of people's opinion too, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't always assume they're right, you know what I mean? It's like, I just stick it, just always keep sticking it, just do it, 100%.
And do you know yourself sometimes if you've kind of wrote a script or you've done a video, do you critique it probably more harshly than anybody else when you look at it?
Actually, man, like I'm not, everything I've made, I've got a problem with, man. I'm like, I wish I did this different. I wish I did that different.
Shit that's been nominated 100%, for awards,
man. Aye, definitely. Honestly, it's weird. Like everything I've made, I've got a kind of issue, and it kind of eases your time, and you become more forgiving. But aye, everything, man. There's things I wish I did differently. Every one of them. Aye, every single one of them.
That's mental.
I know it's not good in the heat actually and think about it, man. It's a lot of stress, but you end up, it's just a total off thing. I mean, you end up, there's no way to make something that's going to live up to your complete standards. You know what I mean? It's like, and then that's like they say, you never really finish editing something. They just kind of take it away from you at one point, and like it needs to be done now. You know what I mean? Like, you've no choice.
But you must get, I suppose, with things like that, and when they then get recognised, do you get imposter syndrome or anything and kind of full on like, fucking, what am I doing here?
Aye, definitely, man. I'm still waiting on somebody just to be like, no, this was a mistake. we messed this up, man. You don't belong here. Go back to watching films, man. I know, honestly, every single day, like, it's because you're constantly learning. I mean, there's still a lot I don't know, and there's still, like, and it's stuff that you won't learn until you're doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a tricky one, but total imposter syndrome. I'm surprised I go on here, Gary, man. This is a shocker to me.
Do you know what? I genuinely think it's a West of Scotland thing, because I get it as well.
Like, definitely. No,
I think sometimes folk will message me about this, and I'm like, fucking, what's happening here, man? What is happening? Or you get people that watch it and you're still, I don't know what it is, man. I just think there's kind of, is there something in your mind that's just like, this has got to fall to shit at some point, so don't get comfortable.
Don't get comfy, definitely. That is exactly it, man. It's like, I think you're just in constant trauma what everything was like before it. You're just like, you're going back, girl, you know what I mean? So it's like, remember you're going back, girl, at some point. It's like, don't enjoy it too
weird,
much.
Mate. It's weird. I totally get you on that. 100%.
No, you're right. I think it is a West of Scotland thing, man. I'd agree with that 100%. I think that's true.
I need to get somebody on to talk about this.
Aye, definitely, man. Who'd you get?
A specialist. I'll get Paul on.
Dr. Melfi.
Paul will talk us right through it.
Aye, too right.
Talk us right through it. He'll tell me the night doesn't want me in here anymore. Obviously, BAFTA nomination aside, you done a music video. I'd fucking find this mental. You done a music video for Michael Imperioli, who was Chrissy in the Sopranos.
Yep.
How does that even come about?
Aye, man, honestly, it was weird. I'm 90% sure. Like, I listened to the Talking Sopranos podcast, and there was one episode where he was talking about he's seen ghosts, Michael Imperioli. And he said something interesting. Steve Sharippa said, I will never talk about what they've said to me and all that. I'm 90% sure my dad hassled him, and he was like, no, take a chance on that wee guy. Honestly, I'm like 90%. Because it was just, it was so surreal, man. Like, listen, I've reached out to like Scottish celebrities, you know what I mean, and been completely blanked. Fobbed away.
Know that feeling?
100%, you know what I mean? So that happens a lot.
Aye.
So I just like, I messaged them on Instagram, man, and they got back to me really fast, and literally one of the nicest human beings I've ever dealt with, like an absolutely enjoy human being, man.
What did you ask? How did you start the conversation?
I had been listening to, like, it's weird, when my dad died, and then I think it was around about September, he put online maybe before September, in August, he put on his wee album online, Zopa. He's got a band called Zopa. And it was on the wee Bandcamp, and I was listening to it non-stop, man, and it's got such a, all his music's got amazing sound. It's got this Lou Reed, like late 80s New York sound that you don't really get anymore.
No.
So it kind of became my wee depression, grief soundtrack, so I just kind of listening to it. And those 3 songs I really liked, so I just hit him up, and it was kind of just, it was maybe a complimentary thing, just to say, like, I'm a big fan of your music, you know what I mean? And he's not like pushing the band either, it's like, you can tell it's like a proper passion thing for him, so I just reached out to him, I was like, I write these 3 songs, and I make these wee films, and if you ever wanted a music video, I'd love to make you one. And at first he was like, if I ever get money to, that was, he told me my work is very cool. So I need to put that in the poster too. That's another
quote, definitely.
And said your work's very cool. It was like, if I ever have money to make a music video, if I have a budget to make a music video, I'll give you a shout. And I was like, fuck a budget, man. That's literally what I said. I said, fuck a budget, man. It's like that. Like, I'm used to like making everything for nothing. I mean, we just make stuff I'd just get everybody together and we just go for it. And he was like, like, send me a wee pitch then for me in the band. And I sent him a wee pitch, and then next thing I know, we're doing it. And it's absolute insanity, man. And my pal, Amy Manson, man, she's an absolute legend. She's like a proper actor. She's in that HBO series, The Nivers and that now. And she agreed to jump on board it. And it was just madness, man. It just all came together. Like, honestly, that's thing new, man. Like, that was like this time last year we were kicking it off. Anytime I get depressed and I'm like sitting in my gaff and I'm like, oh, I just remember, you made a music video for Michael Imperioli. That's madness, man. I mean, be happy. This is cool.
Sat in a gaff with Peter Mullan, made a music video for Michael Imperioli.
100%, I know.
Life completed, man.
I know, that's it. That's the thing too. A part of me is kind of like, man, do I just step away now before I do make something terrible and kill my whole career?
Because you'll get him in for the Glasgow Sopranos.
That's what I'm thinking, by the way. Honestly, you've no idea how many characters and scripts I've got right now. Eastern Europeans, everything. I'm like, oh, Michael Imperioli could do that. Like, the amount of characters that I've gave him, like, and I'm like, technically he owes me, man. I made him this music video for not
100%.
getting this, Michael.
If that band hit the big time, there's royalties due there,
100%,
surely.
I know. No, man, the band's great, man. And the two other guys in the band, Elijah and Omo, were lovely as well. And I feel like, man, did you see the music video?
Aye,
man, see, this is the thing too, man. Like, that was I still don't know what gave me the confidence to send him that.
Why?
But, like, just because it's so Glaswegian. Like, at the beginning, it's like, he must have been like, what's a chukter? No, I mean, like, what? Like, the word chukter gets said like 45 times. He's like,
on Wikipedia. Like
I know, like, what is this? So I'm just like, and then just the fact he liked it, I was like blown away, man, because I was like, it was such a gamble what we did.
Were you nervous sending it?
Oh, 100%. And then there was a few days where after we hit send and then we didn't hear it, and I was like, oh no, this is it. It's like, what Scottish band can we give this music video with? That's the thing we're like, who can we give this to? Because I don't think Michael's getting back to us. I think we lost Michael. But thankfully, man, no, I loved it, man, and I absolutely enjoy a human being, man. Like, a true artist, man. Like, just somebody, like, he didn't even want too much input. He gave me complete freedom. The whole thing was just a beautiful, like, just like, better than exceeded any expectations I had. Like, amazing.
It's that surreal moment, isn't it?
So surreal. Next thing I know, I'm on a Zoom with him and he's like doing this wee premiere thing, and then I'm just like sitting there just malfunctioning, man.
That would be your imposter syndrome at that point would be
it was unbelievable.
Through the roof.
And then he's like saying that, like, it was just being so complimentary, man. It was just like so surreal. I know, it's weird. I know, I need to remind myself every time I do get depressed, just go back and watch that, because that was cool.
That's tremendous, man. Absolutely tremendous. What are you working on now? What have you got in the pipeline?
Got a few things, man. I've got a few telly things I'm writing. They're not exactly Glasgow Sopranos, but they're like in similar ballparks, man. But it's interesting. It's mad, man. Like, during lockdown, I think that might have helped, like, in terms of, because you don't need to go to London anyway to get these big meetings. You're getting all these mad meetings on Zoom now, and I've been paired up with a few good companies, man. And it's early days, man. But if, like, all I need is one of them to take off, and the world looks different after that if it happens, man. So it's just a waiting game, really, and keep plugging away at it, writing, hoping they like it, and hoping somebody takes a chance on one of them.
What's the end-to-end time, see, for you sending something away? How long could you wait until you hear? Oh,
it can take ages, man. It can take a while, man. And even, like, once you write the script, you can wait a month or two on notes, and then you need to put the notes in, then you send it again. So it's like, it's frustratingly slow process, the whole thing, but that's the way it is, man. But it is a slow game. Do
you park it while you're waiting, or are you kind of constantly thinking about how they're viewing the script and what they think about it, or do you just leave it until you hear? I
sent a script today, and then before I came here, I was sitting in course and opened up, and I just realised that a big massive mistake I made, and I had to, like, fix it and send them again. I was like, I hope they've not read it yet. I hope they've not started reading it. But yeah, you need to kind of park it. You need to kind of let it go and just be like, right, let's see what they think of it, because you've drive yourself insane, second guessing everything. Definitely.
I suppose it goes back to that as well. It was you say when you're trying to reach out to people who are, like, maybe Scottish and maybe in the acting world or celebrities, and you don't get that kind of feedback, or you just get dinged, and I've exactly been in that same place as well. But
definitely,
does that bother you? Are you just like, fucking whatever?
No, I get it. No, I mean, I get it. Like, they must be busy. No, I mean, it's like, I can't even imagine what it's like to get to that level. No, I mean, so it's like, I do get it, but it's annoying. It can be annoying. No, there's some people, like, you know, it's like, I feel like you definitely like me. No, I mean, you say something to me, man, give me in back. So it can be annoying, but Okay, you can't let it get to you, man. You don't know what they're like. You don't know what they're up to.
Aye.
Then they've got real lives. I mean, something could be happening in their lives as well. So you can never really take it too personal. But I must admit, man, like some of the coolest people have always been lovely, man. They've always been so sound. It's been nice, man. It's been lucky. I've been lucky, man, with some of the people I've reached out to.
Aye. Love that. Everybody that comes on, I'll always ask them if they know anybody that is in the city doing brilliant things, be it in a career, a business, whatever, that would be good to come on and share their story. So I won't pressure you to say you need to give me a name, but do you have anybody?
Do you know, I was thinking about this, man, and I've got a bunch of names, man. My pal Douglas King's a brilliant filmmaker, man, and he's just a great guy, man. It'd be good to get him on. He's done a few films with a comedian called Josie Long, and he's just a cracking guy. Trying to else, man. There's a filmmaker called Brian Ferguson who's always doing them. He's a Scottish director, but he makes things that are there's just they could be made anywhere, man. You feel like you're watching a film that's made in Miami, and he's just got such a strong, like, beautiful vision, and he makes these really, really dark, twisted, mental horror films. And that. And he's a character, man. It'd be good to get him on. I'm trying to think of else, man. There's plenty of people, man. I'll hit you with all sorts of recommendations.
Love that. Right. I've got a wee quick fire for you.
I know I'm scared of this, man.
You should be. So this is just things that listeners have fired in. So every time I've got somebody
I'm really scared of the listeners.
I'll put into one, and I always intentionally hold them back for the guests, just to get you on your toes, get you thinking.
Cool.
So, I mean, you'll be shocked to learn that most of them are film related, to be fair. Folk have jumped on this.
Right.
So, we may have already covered it, but what is your favourite Scottish film?
Orphans, definitely Orphans.
Orphans is up there. I was actually thinking about this myself, and I think mine's is still. Do you remember Small Faces?
Love Small Faces. It's great.
Mate, I found it on YouTube the other day.
I know. By the way, the amount of Scottish films that just stick on YouTube, they're all on there, man. Another backup, Just a Boys Game would be a backup.
God, I've not seen that in years.
Odds up, man. It's so quotable. So many good lines, man. So many good lines.
Love that. No, I might came watch that. Any place in the world that you would really like to film if budget wasn't an option?
Good question. New York, probably, man. I'd love to get the old Michael in something.
Mate, you could get her there for a music video. You never know.
I know. That's what I was thinking. That's a wee pipe dream.
This is a hard question. Favourite line and favourite scene for a movie?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh. Do you know what came to mind right now? Heat, man. De Niro, Pacino taking, spoilers, Pacino shoots De Niro at the end of Heat, taking his on, just saying, I told you I wasn't going back. Like, it gets me right in the heart every time, man. It's just so, it gets me emotional. I just love that film, man. He's one of my favourite. I love Michael Mann, man. I told you I'm not going back. I just came in my head right there, man. That's one of my favourite.
Somebody's going to message me like, I was just watching Heat. You know, it's ruined. It's ruined.
Ruined, spoilers.
If you could work with any director?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you know, there's one of my favourite directors is a character called, New York director as well, called Abel Ferreira. He did like Bad Lieutenant with Keitel and King of New York with Christopher Walken. Because King of New York's one of my favourite films. Him purely because he's one of the few renegades that just doesn't care what anybody thinks. Makes what he wants to make. He's only ever really made one studio, like Hollywood film. And everything's kind of just been these crazy independent films. And I probably him, man. And I'm obsessed with the Safdie brothers now as well. They did like Uncut Gems and Good Time.
Right.
They've just got just an amazing style. Just really tense films. They're the two that came to my mind right. That would change. That answer to that question would change every 5 minutes. I would change my answer.
What about actor wise?
Oh, good question, man. Good question. You know, do you know who I'm obsessed with, man? It's a weird one that I've always wanted to work with. Is a guy called Peter Green who played Zed in Pulp Fiction. He was a bad guy in The Mask, and he was in.
That's random.
That's random. He's in a brilliant film called Laws of Gravity, which is an early 90s film. It's kind of like a remake of Mean Streets. And it's him and it's Carmela for The Sopranos.
Right.
Playing a couple. And man, it's like a really low budget film. I always recommend it to people, somebody can't get into it because it's really low budget. But I love it, man. And he is just, I think, one of the most underused, brilliant actors that I just love him, man. I'm trying to think of Scottish actors. Obviously, I've got a thing, man. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but I might be working with the bold Peter Mullan at some point soon. Nice. So it's a small thing, man, but it's still really cool. And I've got a thing coming up. I've got a really exciting short film I'm going to do with Jonathan Watson coming up.
Oh, brilliant!
It's a casting completely against type. It's not going to be a comedy. It's going to be quite a. It'll be funny, man, but it's going to be quite a dark wee film. And
how was he to work with?
We've not worked together yet, man. We're just going to go a bit pally, man. And man, I've just he's one of the few people. I'm really excited to make this thing with him, man. And he's just an angel guy, man. Lovely human being, and just amazingly sharp, like really sharp. And I think what we're going to do with each other is pretty exciting, man. It's unlike anything I think either of us have done before. So it should be an interesting one.
Nice, love that. I'm asking you this because I've asked my previous guests and it just caused all sorts. So I'm just keeping this question in for everybody.
Yeah.
What scares you?
Oh. See, because
if you say sunburn, I'm done.
To mind, but it's no. I'm no man. Usually I tan really well, man. I know. I was before the podcast. I told a horrific sunbed experience story. What scares me? Oh man, I'm trying to think. That's a hard one. Do you know what scared me when I was really young, man? Do you remember Spitting Image?
Aye, but the puppets.
They terrified me. I think I'm still maybe scared of them, actually. Something.
Was there a particular character or?
I don't know who they were when I was younger. I mean, so I don't know, man. Maybe it was Prince Charles. I can't remember who it was, man. But just the idea of these, one of them walking into my room used to terrify the life out of me, man.
Like Chucky a wee bit, innit?
100%. But I could handle Chucky. I loved Chucky, man. I used to have dreams where Chucky were kicking about like pals and all that when I was a wee guy, man. But something about these Spitting Image Muppets terrified me, man. I don't know what it was. I still can't work out.
It's a random, man.
I know. It pops in my head now and then. I'm like, why was I so scared of him?
You should just make something with them and get all the fear.
That's it. Maybe that's what I need to do. Aye, man. With cathartic.
If there was going to be a film made about you, who would you like to play you in the film?
Oh, that's a good one, man. Oh man, I don't know. I'm thinking realistically, can we bring Bob Hoskins back for the dead? And we'll get a Neddy Danny DeVito. No, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Like, fantasy world, man. I give me like Jack O'Connell, man, the cook with skins. He could run amok. I'd like
Jack O'Connell.
Aye, man, he's a good actor. I like Joe Gilgan for this England. He's good too, man. One of them, man. Aye, pretend I'm tall. pretend I was a tall. Like they're Braveheart.
Obviously, you left school early doors and you threw yourself into this right away. Fast forward to where you are now. If you were to go back, what would you tell yourself, knowing what you know and what you've experienced?
Maybe just don't be hard on yourself, man. I don't know. I'd like be less hard on myself and just keep the faith. Like, and less moat my boot, less being sad. You know that'd probably be it.
It's hard, but I suppose
it's hard, man. I'm still doing a bad job, but it, I mean, so it is hard, man. But that'd be it. Just keep the faith. Keep the hopes up.
And for any kind of young people watching this, or of any age that maybe want to move into this as a kind of career plan, what would you give them advice-wise based on what you've kind of been through?
Oh, just go for it, man. 100%, just go for it. Like it's an annoying thing people say when they say like technology's getting better, like cameras and all that are easy. But like, it is kind of true, man. Like, my biggest bit of advice would be just like round up your pals and make a short film, man. That'd be it. Like, just go for it and just have fun with it and don't put too much pressure on yourself. And like, one of the first short films I made was two of my Springburn pals who went up to the hills with two iPhone 4s and an iPod Touch, and I just know what it was we did, man. I wrote a whole script And then I realised I didn't know how to record sound, so I took all the dialogue out.
Right.
But it was a total rip-off of the Pine Barrens episode of The Sopranos.
Right.
Completely. It was my pal dumping my dead body in the woods. I was the dead body.
Right.
There's a witness, he chases a witness, kills him, comes back and the body's gone.
Right.
That was it. That was our short film. And it is abysmal, and my pal always tells me not to bring it up. It's actually like, it's better, like, man, for what it is, it's fine, man. But my pal always says to me, don't bring it up, man. People might Google that and find it.
Is it on YouTube?
No.
You're lying.
I'm lying, man. I'm saying name there. That's it, man. No, it's,
I tell you what, I'm searching as soon as this is finished.
I did it on fucking Windows Movie Maker, and I remember I got this Canadian guy sending me these tunes, and I didn't even like try and finesse. Like, I just copy and pasted like free mad ambient music tunes or the thing because we didn't have any sound. It is a weird. That was a weird one, but also, man, like, that was one of the best. I think it took us 2 days, man. It was one of the best 2 days of my life, man. It was like freezing cold. And I just felt, man, like I'd done nothing at that time, and the 3 years were just dying to make something, and there was like a mad magic in there. It's hard to describe. We were just like really excited today. So.
Just imagination gone wild,
That's it, man. It was just beautiful. It was a good time.
James, it's been amazing, mate. I can't believe all the things you've done, and you're like sitting there just like, it's not a lot. It blows my mind, honestly.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you saying that, man. That means a lot. It's weird, you know what I mean? You know what it's like, though. It's like just, I don't know, it's just like, once like my life changes and I'll be like, all right, this is real, this is actually happening, you know what I mean? But for now, I'm just like, I've been lucky, man. I've had some good luck, but I thank you so much for having me, man. This is awesome. I'll come back on at some point, man.
Come back when you're fucking.
That's what I was hoping, man. I know I pray for this, man.
Mind me. MD for Glasgow is nominated for a BAFTA is doing something right, mate, and it won't be long until
I appreciate that, Gary, man. Thank you so much, man.
Superb, mate. Cheers.
No, thanks for having me, man.